Yo, what's up, Chaos TV Network? What's up, Chaos TV family? It's your boy, Chaos TV Hero, here again, once again, with a new and a bit of improved deck tutorial, TCG tutorial on the famous TCG, formerly known, the newly released TCG, formerly known as Lightseekers. Now, Lightseekers came out around a good while, and it's been somewhat popular, but not so popular among obscure fans of the obscure TCGs, old and new. And today I'm going to do a tutorial involving this map and this deck of cards. Now, what you're going to need for this tutorial is 2 people and 2 decks. Each player has to have a deck of 36 cards. That's 5 combos and 30 action cards and 1 hero. After we get that done and settled, we need the map. Now the map, on the other hand, is a different subject. So let's get into the tutorial, shall we? Sorry, Chad, change the visual levels real quick. But as you can see, you have the deck and your hero. So let's get on with the few zones that are on this map. We have the item card zone, where each zone can hold up to 3 item cards. We have the hero zone, the deck zone, and over to the far left, since you can't see it, is the discard zone. Right around the rim, all the way, that's starting from the the left discard. The discard zone is on the left side of the screen, the far left. My apologies. From the far right, all the way to the left, around the brim of the map, is your life counter. It starts from 35 and goes all the way to 0. Usually you need like a token or some dice if you have some, and just sit it right there wherever you're wherever it needs to be. Speaking of which, is one little tidbit. Each player has their life counters starting off where their ruler's life counter is. Whatever number you see right here on your my apologies, I keep saying ruler like it's Force of Will. I am a big fan of Force of Will. Whatever number the hero card is, that is the number where you sit your counter, like a dice or something, right there on. So let's take Dolo the Mighty, for example. He's 31. Right over here, it's right over here. My apologies. It's 35, 34, and 33, 32. I set my dice right here. So now that we pan over back over here, and here's the discard zone, like I said before. Let's draw out and go through the first turn. Now, before we go into anything else, as you can see, each hero has access to 3 elements. And since Dolo's a mountain, he has access to the abilities. He only has access to 3 elements, but he's a master of 1. So Dolo has access to both fire, earth, and crystal, but he's a master of crystal, meaning he can play more than 1 copy of that action card. Hold on, excuse me for a minute. So what that means, my apologies, I had to go take care of something. If a hero has access and is a master at 1 element, that means they can play more than 1 action card of that element. Combo cards are a different story. Items can actually enhance said attribute wielding. So you can play multiples, but you can only play 2 actions per turn. So let's get into the tutorial. The first turn, each player draws 4 cards. And they pick up their 4 cards. Now, as you can see, I got a pretty decent hand. We have 1 combo card, Crystal Skin, 1 action card that's an offense, which is an attack, another action card that's an attack, and another one that's a defensive. Now, if you notice, these little circles right here are called buff corners. Now, this is a combo card that's an action, but it's a buff action. And it's more of a defense buff. So let's say first turn commences. Each player has 2 actions. Now, I can either play 1 action card and in my turn draw. Also, there's no draw phase in this game until after the basically after the end phase. So let's say I don't want to offensively destroy anybody. So I will just instead use my hero's action. Also, using the hero's ability does count for an action. So remember that, guys. So I'm going to use his ability. I'll take 2 damage and then I'll draw 2 cards. So I'll take 2. So I go to 29 life. Then I draw 2 cards. And then I end my turn, since I don't want to play anything else, and then I draw 1 card that counts as me not using my second action. Let's say the next turn rolls around. Let's say if I want to play something, I'm going to use my first action and play 1 fire, Magma Worm. Now, Magma Worm is a buff card, and it's an offensive buff card as well. It says, deal damage to target. Reduce your target's health received by turn. Now, what that icon means every rotation. When you see an X at the rotation corner, that means this turn, when you play that card, it does nothing. And each phase that you start is called a buff phase. Every turn, you have to rotate every buff in order on how you activate them. So I'm going to play Magma Worm right up here. Now, Magma Worm's not going to do anything because it's left-hand corner, top corner, has an X, meaning it does nothing. The next turn I rotate it, it will deal 1 damage to my opponent. Now, since I did that, I have another action. Now, this turn, I do choose on using an action. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to heal myself. I'm going to use a defensive combo action card. I'm going to use Boulder Feast. By playing a defensive combo card or any action card that doesn't have a rotation or a buff to it, it automatically goes to the discard pile. Item cards are the only cards that don't go to the discard pile unless removed. Buff cards go to the discard pile after they're done with their use. So after I heal 6 damage from me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm back at 35. I take the action card that I just used and put it over in the discard pile. That is basically what you do. Since I did both my actions on the same turn, I end my turn. So let's say the next turn, my opponent's turn, passes. At the beginning of my turn, there's a buff phase. So what happens is, if you guys remember, we have Magma Worm on the field. And since he didn't do damage this turn, I get to rotate his buff. When it gets to this side of the corner, which is the right top corner of the card where it has a rotation buff symbol on it, it has a 1. That means I can deal 1 damage due to this buff card to my opponent. That does not count as an action. It's just an automatic prerequisite. Now, since it is my turn, I choose to not do anything, not to use my actions. That way, I get to draw 2 cards. If you don't use your action that turn, you get to draw 2 cards because you didn't use either of your 2 actions. Remember, actions do not stack. So if you pass your turn and don't draw your cards after you don't use an action that turn, you cannot get those 2 actions back. They're automatically gone. That is. So remember, guys, always remember, there are several different ways to play this game, but there's only one way to do it right. Now, I hope this actually helps you guys actually get stuff right. Also, just like in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's a house rule. Now, after the cards rotate and it goes right back to the square that you started in, with the rotational buffs, this buff is no longer usable. It goes to the discard pile. There's no hand limit, so you can have as many cards as you can. There is a field limit, of course, because there is 4 slots where you can hold certain actions and buffs on. But other than that, this game is really fun. It's deceptively simple. Look forward on our channel to see more playthroughs of this game, and I really hope you do. I actually do like this TCG, and I really do appreciate this TCG a lot because it actually brings a lot more. And if you have that little TCG enthusiast in your family, you know, young or probably mid-age teen, they would probably love this TCG. It's deceptively simple. It's really cheap to get. The starter decks are only $15. That's after tax, and you can actually get them ordered off of Amazon as well. And you can get the bundle pack if you want to. This game is very cool. It's very great. It's very, very easy to get a hang of. And I would recommend this TCG to anyone. So, like I said, this has been my review of the Lightseekers TCG game. And hopefully you guys would like this review. I hope I explained most of the stuff that I have showed you. I hope I was a real help to get you guys started that actually got the Lightseekers structure deck in your hands right now and don't know what to do it with a friend. Also, one thing I would recommend as well before I hop off and do something else in the Chaos TV network is this game is better off played with groups of friends. It's never better. It's not as fun when you play with just 2 people, just you and your friend. But when 1, 2, or 3 or more people join, it's really, really fun. It's a deck builder brawler TCG, and I like it. And I actually made that own category. It's in a category of my own, brawler TCGs. Brawler TCGs are games that are fun and thrive off of being in mayhem. And this game is perfect for it. So this is your boy Chaos Hero. I'm gonna jump back out in the chaos and show you what's awesome for you. Peace.